On one hand, it's a great time to be a Strive enjoyer. We have just recently witnessed the highest level international exchange of Strive since Red Bull Kumite, and some people had their perceptions about the game changed by the results. I was not one of them, because the only harder working Saul is Goodman. But in my loyal perception, Mocchi, due to his work ethic and the regular rigor with which he applies himself from the comfiest posture ever on his hitbox, was my favorite going into it. In fact, we've had such a rich series of offline tournaments with interesting results that I think it would be foolish to have your perceptions on the game changed by any one of them every single time. Since Arc Revo World Tour Finals, we've also had Evo Japan, which featured Gobo, who went 0-2 at Arc World Tour Finals, winning. That same week, we had Mochi's 3v3, which featured teams comprised of Asia, Japan, North America, and EMEA, all competing. And there was also the All-American Invasion of Takatai Tuesdays, featuring Jonathan Tenney and Lord Knight in Grand Finals. Be sure to not miss Slashback, which also had a SoCal versus NorCal 5v5, or was it 6v6? I don't know. Either way, it's a lot of really good Guilty Gear to watch, played offline in the best possible circumstances. Just a few weeks later, there was the Mixup and Texas Showdown the same weekend, in Europe and America, Texas, respectively. And each of those, too, had their own results, which could be eye-opening for anybody who was too pigeonholed into believing the rather foolish idea that character strength really is all that matters in fighting games and all we should be discussing on commentary or on Twitter or anywhere else in the world, when it's really all about these players. Here in North America, where we only pay attention to events in our own content or that have our own players, we were all really shocked and amazed that Snake Eyes was able to win Texas Showdown with just Potemkin. Meanwhile, in Europe, where a lot more players play more than one character, Potemkin made another appearance in top 3 of the mix-up, piloted by Duke. Also, Sin in top 2. Also, I think statistically about 90% of the sets in this top 8 are 3-2, last game, last round, and Happy Chaos is great, and these players are great. I don't just mean their level of skill, I mean their sportsmanship, their camaraderie, the fact that you can hear this crowd chanting throughout the entirety of the top 8 for all kinds of different players. This event is truly marvelous. You should watch. Player-to-player interaction and one's capacity to outplay or out-prepare another person is too often dismissed in a discussion of our scene because of the nuance and length of text that such a conversation requires. On the other hand, wow, did I just drag this thing off the assembly line? This hand is mangled and malfested. Its form disturbs me. My experience with it has only gotten worse over time, since this crossplay/lobby size update that seems to rather have broke at least half of the online functionality of the game. But most specifically, the tower matchmaking, which takes me about 30 minutes and lots of manual, avatar-oriented button-pressing labor to produce.
How the heck do the battle stations manage to desync you in 10 different ways, each of which require a different response from your player avatar character? How does it sometimes kick you off the battle station that you were just connected to? How does it sometimes freeze you in place unless you slide or dive, in which case, yeah, you can move away from the battle station you're clearly not going to connect to anyway, but it's still going to take your 30 seconds while it freezes.
This isn't Rollbackia. We've drifted miles, kilometers even, from the promised land. What the heck was the beta for? What was that for? I mean, the sheer variety of the ways this thing denies you matches is just staggering. I cannot wait to have a data scientist or some modder explain to me what the differences between failed to obtain battle station information and failed to connect to the opponent and desync upon successful connection are. Combine this with the fact that people care more now about their rating update than ever before, and they will actually duck you after you beat them by a truly small, unimpressive, insignificant number of games. And any amount of games should be insignificant compared to the long-term goal of our growth and improvement in our craft, right?
Wrong!
Yeah, I have rating update bookmarked. Do not look at that shit during your sessions. Do not. You can look after, I guess. But yeah, we've got people ducking for rating update points in Celestial. We've got people ducking to protect their Celestial challenges. We've got people ducking because their models phase out of the world as soon as I try to touch swords with them, because I am the ugliest, dumbest kid in school trying to find cooler, smarter kids to sit and eat lunch and touch swords with, and they'd all rather die than play me. Or the game just won't let them, and we're all victims of it. But the point is, we all feel this way. And I know crying for help won't be a solution for my and our collective woes. How to have fun in Strive when the servers don't work. Pogging in the thumbnail. Is Strive dead? No. So in the wake of this pitifully slow matchmaking, but with my overflowing inspiration as Mocchi showed me the way at World Tour Finals and on his stream 5 days a week, Mocchi Soul, I have resolved to speed my matchmaking efficiency by entering online tournaments. They are most definitely a thing, and I have to say I think the match connection consistency or the frequency of time-wasting errors is just lesser when playing in these rooms. And it's almost even incentivized me to be more social and hit up the friends that I know I could get back into this game. But for now, I'm just entering a tournament I also happen to have commentated on its Grand Blue side of things, which I prefer to enter for its huge player size. This, of course, is TNS, Tampa Never Sleeps. Thanks to working hard at solving the YouTube algorithm with consistency and quality of output, TNS has a lot of these up-and-comer type players that most events generally lack, which means you can expect big pools and a decent chance at some easier matches while you start out, which makes it feel like a bit of a major every week, and it might as well be. It's over 250 players. I think they cap it at 256 now, and that's utterly reasonable. I've entered 3 in the last 3 weeks. It's actually been 4 weeks. I wanted to enter multiple consecutively in order to be able to measure, quantify, and articulate something about improvement and my improvement. I will deliver on all 3. In week 1, I went 3-2 with 3 straight wins, a hard tilt 1-3 loss against IDOM Testament, who was the closest to beating that week's champion, SQ, by far. Transitive property, I'm pretty good. And then a loss to incredibly proficient, stubbornly disjointed Gold Lewis. Every Gold Lewis is stubbornly disjointed. There is nothing better for a Gold Lewis to be. Look at what he inflicted upon me, the salt. I was ready to rage quit on stream. Pour one out for all the streamers that managed to fully contain all of their emotions during a tournament run. I gotta have some mercy on myself, and that's what I did after what I felt was an even worse week of week 2, in which I went 1-2, losing to 2 May players that played the same color. I don't know if they communicated about this, but it worked against me. For the 3rd week, I just entered with no stream, no announcement, and no self-inflicted pressure to perform. And I went 2-2, a nice medium ground. I think I might make myself go 0-2 and try to win the 0-2 bracket. Yo, Tom, let me know when you're doing prizing for that 0-2 bracket, alright? And now I have a ton of footage, more footage of myself than I would ever want on my computer at one time, so let's get this video out onto the internet ASAP, huh? And get to the point. I tricked you with my previous passage of prose, or I misled you about its significance by just giving you my results first, as if that's the most important thing. The results on their own are not the only way you can quantify your growth. Rather, I think the point and the advantage of the online tournament experience is the creation of the tension and circumstances which make the moments of a loss or of the moment that surrounded the loss so memorable. So memorable that you might take an in-game lesson from it. For example, against this Nagoriyuki player, my first conclusion when I lost wasn't, damn, I'm a 2-2er, I went 2-2, but rather, damn, Shizuryuki's follow-up is really freaking tall. Maybe I can't just super jump air dash full delay bandit bringer to bait all anti-airs and be safe with RC in low life situations against Nago like I can in all the other matchups I play. I will remember this. You have to choose to have the Telltale Games moment. Put that text in the top left corner of your brain and tell yourself you will remember that from every loss, or even in any game loss against someone you're sure you could have beat even more cleanly. But also try not to overburden yourself with these thoughts while you're playing, but take mental note, articulate something to yourself between games, such that you can have something to tell yourself, oh shit, I just had to do the follow-up, productively at the end of the set, either way, win or loss, and not just, damn, I f***ing suck when you lose. Because we're all going to feel that anyway. Only one player gets to win the tournament, and there's a chance that even they are a loser who won it from losers. Bracket. And I think it's something like 35% of the tournament wins are the loser's bracket entrant, and like 70% of grand finals or runbacks of winners finals. Anyway, I made those both up, but someone who does have the data, please tell me if my estimations are astute. I bet they will. Dash Fight, One Frame Link, Stat People, hit me up. But do not only consider the benefit of having a single resounding thought to tell yourself to guide your improvement when you lose. Imagine as well the double benefit of having something to further your improvement even throughout a tournament run. As you continue to warm up, you start firing on all cylinders, like you got a specialist in MW3 or something. You know, you remember the score streak, specialist, kill streak? You get a bunch of perks. The tournament performance is about your run as much as it is about how good you were before you came to the event. Mocchi was one play away from going 0-2 at World Tour Finals, multiple times. Gobo could also have cut deep in the bracket. Both sets he lost to the Souls were 2-3 in games, and those two losses were first and third place placement placers. Tough draw. But as double elim bracket participants, let me tell you something. Little things you start to be more aware of throughout tournament runs compound as you go. Some people do experience decision fatigue, but the winner of the tournament is whoever plays best that day. And so many factors can contribute to that. Health, quality of rest, familiarity with opponents and matchups, etc., and in a world of all of this uncertainty and chaos, the cruel and volatile world of the double elimination bracket, let me tell you, the one thing you can do to provide yourself hope or confidence is a small thing you think you could do to improve in the matchup that you just won or lost while it's fresh in your mind. And with fundamentally sound knowledge of how all the mechanics interact, it shouldn't be difficult for you to diagnose something about your play or your play's vulnerabilities as they were exposed by your foe. If you know how FD works, at the surface level, you know that FD creates space. When you start to learn how to apply FD, what you come to understand, like Einstein did, is that space has a relationship with time. And making space with FD can also give you time. If you say, you know that their likeliest Gatling won't reach if you FD and make a whiff punish opportunity, or force them to try to run up and reset their pressure, which also creates time. Any time that somebody just spends running at you is definitely time you can be starting up a button to interrupt whatever they're doing next. Did you know that if you want to bait, burst, and YRC off close slash, you must jump cancel and FD in the air in order to fall fast enough to punish the YRC that you blocked in the air? This, of course, is a very rare instance. I think I might be the only person in the world that knows this, because decisions like these are made only in high-resource situations, which are less typically seen in Strive because they require slower, closer rounds, and meter is more present in end-of-round circumstances. Are you all seeing how good BRC is against anything? Especially itself. Just passing the slowdown property onto the other player after they slow you down is so satisfying. One interesting thing you get to see every once in a while is people bursting YRCs on hit to keep their opponent in the corner. This solidifying evidence that burst will always be the more valuable and most valuable resource. God, do I love taking bursts in this game. I love how the wall and positive bonus are such relevant factors in determining when the appropriate time to burst is. You obviously cannot burst once you've been wall stuck, so bursting well is comparatively harder now than in Exerd. All of the movement and high-floating combo options that Drift RC provides also make burst-safe routing quite easy to achieve, though there was plenty of this with the throw OS and light buttons in the air in Guilty Gear Exerd and probably the old ones. Maybe I'll never get Shizuruki follow-up to Out of Bandit Bringer again. I mean, we'll have to see, because I'll have to keep playing, because that is the premier way to make sure you get value out of your online tournaments. You have to enter with regularity to continually provide yourself with points of comparison, to steel your nerve to the circumstances that online events create. When you're playing a loser's match that you waited for, you can't be sitting there thinking, I better not have waited all this time just to lose. Underestimate no one and extract something about yourself from every match you can. There is no perfection until you've sextuple perfected somebody 6 rounds straight and ideally taken their burst every game. Then you can be satisfied. Show me the sextuple perfect in tournament. Sextuple means 6. Someone in the world contact me when this happens, but I've definitely seen some A God of War who forgot how to lose in my own time and in tournaments. Oh yeah, victory text might be the most rich feature in this game. I'm still discovering new ones. Are they adding them? Why do they always feel applicable? They're literally written like FGC horoscopes. They're always right. The other resoundingly clear advantage and luxury that playing in online tournaments has offered me over slowly, lazily trying to grind on Celestial is the living experience of the tournament as a presently happening event that I may be involved in as a player even outside of the bracket. And what I mean by this is that during my 3rd week's run, shortly after elimination, I hopped onto some Celestial to try to make some effort to continue improving. I was salty. It wasn't to redeem myself. I don't need redemption. I hope you didn't think I was going to say that. Anyway, I run into this fella, DM Dany, who I know as the Kai Lord and a representative of Mexico. In playing him, I feel gratified that we are almost in Rollbackia. The connection is good enough across massive distance, but real Rollbackia would require fully functional UI matchmaking. Anyway, these matches are sick, and I'm taking rounds, and I'm taking games. This guy's got blue aura, I know he's good, he's cooked me before, so I finally take this game against him, and then he dips. I won the set 1-2. My character is the one celebrating on the battle station at the end. I stay on, winner stays on, I won 1-2, this is Guilty Gear Strive, baby. And then DM Dany leaves. Where is he going? His name disappears from my left monitor where I was playing Strive, and then reappears on my right monitor where I am watching the TNS stream. I then watch Dany cook Marvello in winners, and basically cook the rest of the event after getting sent to losers in the first round of top 8 winners. I am the guy who DM Dany chose to continue playing multiple sets with throughout his 2nd consecutive TNS victory run. In my own way, I felt gratified by his winning, and I saw myself not only speaking the same language, but doing better in round-to-round performance than a lot of his competition here, and it made me really excited to possibly be the one to play him in tournament. And if I keep entering TNS, and especially soon if I continue improving and trying to improve, then I know I'll play him in bracket even sooner. This also taught me the lesson that I shouldn't just make myself wait and watch the stream during all the downtime an online tournament provides, especially if you win in a quick, timely manner early in the first rounds. Try to play some ranked matches to stay warm, or some other kind of matches with somebody, because watching the stream only is just too quick of a recipe to get overly relaxed, in my experience. You gotta keep the hands warm and the mind not racing, but at least pacing. So yeah, I'm enjoying the social elements. I enjoy observing the players in and out of the game on stream all in one night, and I am learning from them in the course of my observation. I do hope to deliver some placement-oriented results in the online space of Guilty Gear Strive soon, but for now, verbosity and something that I hope sounded like wisdom is all I got. See you at TNS. Maybe I'll commentate one soon. Be sure to check out their incredibly consistently curated YouTube channel, which is of course linked in the description, as well as their stream. You can catch Strive live on Monday nights there. I hope to be on the mic there soon. Yo. I don't always say GG's in chat. Sometimes I only have it in my heart to heart react to your saying of GG's when you won. And it's so much easier to say it after you win, isn't it? But I promise to all of you, they were GG's. Especially since I no longer remember the pain that any of those losses have brought me, but rather the lessons they have taught me. Shizuruki follow-up is really f***ing tall. The original thesis of this video was that we could bypass the sufferings of the Strive servers to a degree by choosing to play in online tournaments where we can mostly use the player rooms. As of a few weeks ago, as you can tell, time has passed. I have a different haircut. My jacket's now brown. In the weeks since, I've turned from 25 to 26. I'm older. I had no idea what to do with this video as I watched its thesis become false. As TNS and many online tournaments have ceased to function or to run in the wake of the Hacker Man epidemic, which we think is just one hacker man that lives in Europe, but Arxis officially thinks doesn't actually exist. No overwhelming evidence of just those streamer-type top players getting disturbed or hacked or their accounts messed with every time they go on. Nope. Play offline. I don't know. Find your friends on Discord. Don't be famous. Don't stream. And yeah, go to a local. Start one. Street Fighter 6 is on the horizon with utterly perfect online functionality, UI, lobbies, everything. While originally I wanted to deflect some of the anxiety that I think the Guilty Gear community was unnecessarily propagating, now in this new era where online tournaments are being cancelled, how to have fun and Strive when the servers don't work? I don't know. lab.